Sorry, we are a couple of minutes late. I have the wrong headphones on. I was actually doing a fun thing briefly and realized my hairdo is going completely awesome. Greg is on his way. I just wanted to pop in here as quickly as I possibly could, say hello, and then do the music. And then Greg will be here. And that'll be it.
Man, I didn't even get to say anything funny.
I'm sorry. I was late because I was playing Rogue Squadron.
Nice.
I thought I could get a tiny little bit in, and they put me in an A-wing, and it's very fast and very sprightly, and it's good at knocking out things. Anyway,
it's sprightly.
It moves quickly. It's like, yeah,
I know what it means. I know what the word means.
Pew pew.
It's just an interesting word to use. That's all.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of way more conscious today than I was yesterday. Yesterday was terrible. Anyway, so good morning. Welcome to Hashtag Coffee. The only real thing I have on the agenda this morning, well, two things, and I know there's a lot more, but two things struck me instantaneously. One, I have to read out Steve Schmidt's nuclear takedown of the president's drive-by, and really, we just need to bow in just humility at how unbelievably fantastic the LGBTQ community was at changing the entire story around the Proud Boys.
I'm very proud of them. You could say I am a proud boy.
I also am a proud boy. Yep. There you go. Yeah, not only treasurer of Antifa, but proud boy. That's just an inherent truth. Yeah, so many cool things. I remember, Greg, you said
I got myself a giant coffee mug.
Oh, nice.
Appropriate to my size and
and love of coffee.
So I just want to brag for a minute. I went to Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World yesterday, which is like probably the biggest sporting goods hunting fishing place in the world. And I walked out of there and I only spent $7.99 on a coffee mug, which is like, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. I didn't buy any fishing stuff or, cool clothing, or I just
went right to what you actually needed.
My dad was like, his spirit haunted me last night. Boy, what's the matter with you?
Boy, that's funny. So yeah, I haven't really I have, not to make this all about video games, but I really want you to get that.
Because I just bought another game though, so I've got that was my budget.
Yeah, but we can. I'll pitch for part of it. It's only $40. It's not like I know it's not like a huge
Are you
game.
Playing it on PC?
It doesn't matter. You can PC anywhere.
Oh, it's cross-platform.
Right. Yeah, and it's all designed around like a 5-person team.
Right.
And so I want to put a 5-person team together. Anyways, doesn't really matter.
All right, I'm in.
Cool. It's just because your flight chops because when you're in it, you can do everything that you could ordinarily do in an X-wing. So put all your shields up to the front and do chafe drops to get out of missile things and all this crazy shit that I know you're gonna love.
Nice.
Yeah. It's as close to a flight sim as you can possibly get without being unusable by me.
Which that's how I don't do well in first person shooters, but flight simulators.
Yeah, it's the thing.
That's it. Yeah,
you're the bomb on that. I know this, and so anyway, yeah. Something John Cusack for president. It's
that's got to be a Utopia reference.
That is it. Yes.
Yeah, I've only watched the
Yeah.
first couple episodes, so don't go crazy with the spoilers.
Oh man, I started watching it because you said it was dark and crazy, and you were not wrong.
I was not wrong. I mean, gives eye bleach a whole new context.
Hey, ha, ha. Oh, that one got me. Like I literally gagged. Like I had a visceral reaction to that.
Right,
In,
Ginny Rippert. Isn't there
in
Bass
research.
Pro Shops located in a pyramid on the Mississippi? I don't know, but I want to go to there. If that's a real place, I want to go there.
We need to find out if that's real. So George Takei being mean. There's a bunch of doctors saying that one of the drugs that Shitheel is on is actually going to make him crazy. And like, how would we tell? Right? It's like, is the drive paranoid and delusional and putting Secret Service members, in harm's way for literally no fucking reason? Yeah. But wouldn't he do that last week? Yes, of course he would.
Yeah. We gratitude, or should we do gratitude?
Oh yeah, let's for sure do that. Thank you for that. I'm grateful for a goofy video game that puts me in the cockpit of an X-wing fighter, so I feel like I'm 13. That's no
just something you're enjoying.
Yeah, it's fun.
So would it be more accurate to say you're grateful that you're able to enjoy stuff in this moment?
That too. If you want to get like really down, sure. Yeah. No, I mean it. Like in 2020 is still being 2020, and I get to steal minutes where Babs and I had a nice little cheat meal yesterday for our 9-year official anniversary, and this morning I, as a stupid adult with dumb hair, get to fucking just hang out and be like pew 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 pew, and it's I'm lucky that way. And so
I don't know if that's intentional, but hairdo, as in the stuff on your head, is usually spelled with one O.
I know.
The way you spelled it makes it look like hair poop is kind of what you went for there. I don't know if that's an accident or just
Let's call it an unlucky lucky accident.
All right. I know I said this yesterday, so it's sort of I don't want to call it a cheat gratitude, but I'm really grateful to all of you who have done all that you can to keep yourselves and others safe. Because there's apparently a severe lack of people doing that in the world, from the White House on down in our world. And I'm grateful to all of you who have foregone visiting with your families and your friends and hugging to make other people safe. Thank you. As a person who has, immune system challenges and health issues, with a roommate that has same, and a girlfriend that has same, and a mom that's 78. Thank you. I'm grateful to all of you for being those people. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Florida set a record yesterday. Do you know about the record we set yesterday?
No, but I'm guessing it isn't good.
Florida sets the record, U.S. coronavirus record for most new cases in a day. The state recorded 15,300 new coronavirus cases on Sunday, easily passing the previous one-day high of 12,274 set at the height of the outbreak in New York in April.
Oh,
not just the Florida record. We're not just beating our own records now.
The record.
We beat the single one-day record for the entire pandemic in Florida yesterday, and it was a record held by New York since April at the height of the outbreak. Well, what was the height of the outbreak? And here we are. And I mean, I went to a place yesterday that was public. I wore a mask the whole time, right? But we're not winning here.
No, and like I knew it was going to get worse because everybody stopped caring. And like the second that DeSantis let's open everything up, you guys remember what's going to happen now, right?
Now he's saying it was a mistake to even close the schools. 2 days ago, he said it was a health policy mistake to close schools.
Seriously
in April.
Going for herd immunity. That's like shooting 6 million.
Yeah,
people.
Sherry, you read that correct. 12,500 was the old record. We set 15,002 in Florida yesterday, single day record, and that's the state's official number, which we know now is a compromised data set. We know that data set is not accurately reflective of what's been happening. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fun. Yeah. Sherry said, wait, one day? Yeah.
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 That's correct.
And how many days since they opened the restaurants? Like 6?
Yep, not even a week.
Yeah, that's
I drove by the corner of Gulf Drive and Grand Boulevard last Saturday morning, and 8, 9, 10-year-old kids are out there playing football. So PAL football, a contact sport where kids are sweating on each other, and don't kid yourself, 9-year-old, 10-year-old boys are spitting on each other in the pile during football plays. That's happening. They're playing football. So I guess it's all okay now. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. That's good.
Sherry, I'll pop the link in here. It's a New York Times article, and all of their COVID coverage is still accessible, even if you're not a subscriber. So, yeah, I'll pop it in the comments. If you want to be extra depressed, you can certainly do that. Yeah.
It was 15,000.
I mean, the president went out for a ride. 15,200 yesterday on a Sunday. The president went out for a ride, compromising the health of the Secret Service agents, blue lives in so doing.
Cool.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. So Trump's ride will be talked about 30 years from now like it happened yesterday. It will be viewed as the worst photo op in presidential history. It speaks perfectly to his sociopathy, recklessness, readiness, and the extremes of his movement. Project Lincoln looks forward to crucifying him politically this week. This is Steve Schmidt, by the way. He looks completely deranged as he conjures the definitive 21st century Dr. Strangelove vibe as he waves at the QAnon freak show from inside the hermetically sealed presidential suburban with 2 Secret Service hostages. Trump's malevolent insanity and malfeasance have wrecked the country. At least 150,000 people are dead who shouldn't be. The economy is wrecked for the little guy while Trump's cronies and family engorge themselves. School is ruined, and so many pleasures of life are ended because of COVID and Trump's imbecility. I wish I was able to be in the room with Senator Collins, Rick Wilson, Reed Gallen, and Stuart Stevens when she sees the ad coming for her with Trump in the limo. Trump ended his presidency this week. The disclosure that he is a tax cheat combined with his unhinged and out-of-control debate performance, which included a call to arms for fascist militia groups, threats of violence, and sinister insinuations about a peaceful transition of power being dependent on his victory, were more than enough to finish him. But a long-last karma has found its way to Donald Trump. His recklessness and casual disregard for human life have caused an epic tragedy in America. That same recklessness and buffoonery is such a great word, has destroyed his campaign. It's bankrupt and broken. Its leadership is scandalized. There's chaos in the White House and in the campaign. It is coming apart. The staff are confused and scared. They have been disregarded and treated like disposable dog shit bags. No one trusts anyone or believes anything on the inside. It's breaking up. The ride, presumably will be, I thought it was the name of their commercial, but will be the eternal symbol of Trump's collapse. It's just a picture of it, period. He looks like a fool, a reckless fool who failed America more than any other American who has ever lived. Get ready for Trump's version of Dukakis in the tank. It will be our tribute to Roger Ailes with a special dedication to Kim Guilfoyle for upholding the highest standards of depravity and insanity at the FNC.
She's been charged. There's a story out that she tried to pay an aide $4 million to be quiet about the sexual harassment she was heaped upon by Kim Guilfoyle. Yes.
Okay.
And she told people they would be straight up fired if they didn't support Roger Ailes during all of that. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go on.
That's basically it. It's just like,
and that's by, who was that you were
Steve
quoting?
Schmidt.
Steve Schmidt from Lincoln
The
Project.
Lincoln Project. Yeah.
Yeah. Former White House staffer, former Republican campaign strategist.
Yeah.
Steve Schmidt.
Still making up for what's her balls, whose name I just gloriously forget. Oh, that's so nice, from Alaska. My memory's going, but it is forgetting all the shit.
Yeah. Sarah Palin was his idea.
Sarah Palin. Yeah. He's still working on making up for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, the other thing is I listened to Jamie Harrison on Pod Save America. He's awesome. There's debate clips of him. I think I'm not sure we talked about it last week, but I know Greg and I talked about it this weekend. He during the debate with Lindsey Graham, he put up a Jamie Harrison put up a screen, like a drum cage, basically around himself, and said, "I'm doing this not for me, but so that I protect my family, because I'm in a room with somebody who's been who frankly should be quarantined," and then just murdered him on live TV. Basically, it was pretty brutal. There are clips of that debate out you can go check out. I have an unreasonable optimism that we might pick up a Senate seat in South Carolina, and if we do, like,
particularly that Senate seat,
right? Like, if there's any justice in the world, Lindsey Graham.
I mean, the only way it could be better is if Jamie Harrison was a black lesbian woman. That would be the only possible way.
Yes,
that would be improved. So yeah, I've seen those comments too. Isn't it funny that Democrats aren't getting this? Yeah, you know why? Because we're all wearing masks and being kind and responsible to our fellow human beings. That's why Democratic politicians aren't getting sick, and some of them are going to get sick because of the enormous amount of risk they're carrying by showing up in places where Republicans are unmasked and hugging and breathing on us. It's crazy. Yeah, Casey. Caribou Barbie helped give us Obama, so hush there.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Brad. We're gonna have to have Brad. Have we had Brad on this show, or is it just the other ones? He's a hardcore crypto guy from here in Miami.
Okay.
And tech guy and trading guru and whatever. He's a total nerd. But he is very, very much on our side. And is basically like in crypto Twitter, which is full of libertarians and weirdos. He is just a breath of fresh air.
So the other two things I heard about the White House this morning are that one of the president's body men, those are the people that take care of the president personally, is now COVID positive, as is the Oval Office chief of operations.
Oh, wow.
They're going to gut their own White House.
What's up, Bash Gallagher? Yeah, I mean, they've already done it, right? I mean, that.
And we haven't said enough about the 200 or 300 people that are not political that work in the White House, the janitors, the housekeeping staff, the cooks, the day-to-day operations and switchboard people who this president has malignantly endangered. It's disgusting. And who was it? Was it Kristen Gillibrand in the debates that said the first thing she would do if she won was Clorox and Lysol the entire West Wing? It turns out that was not
a terrible idea.
That's a pretty good idea, as it turns out.
Oh,
yeah. Oh boy.
Yep. Excuse me. Oh man.
Yeah, you're correct, Virginia. Some will get sick because the White House is not contact tracing. It's the press that's doing that.
What was the question?
It wasn't a question. It was a comment by Virginia that the White House is not doing contact tracing.
Oh, yeah.
It's the media that's doing it.
Reporters are doing it.
It's the left-wing liberal media that's doing contact tracing in the fucking White House.
Exactly. It was a little wave yesterday to help bolster the New York Stock Exchange this morning since it dropped Friday on the news. In the markets, I'll tell you right now, I think I'm frozen. Hello.
No, we got you. I can see you. Okay, I can hear you anyway.
Everything froze on my screen here. I am not making any prognostications on this market whatsoever because of how much I have literally no idea. The charts don't make sense anymore. They've got rocket exhaust jammed up the asshole of the market so hard that it's difficult to make any sense of it. Not to mention all of the chaos around it. Like, I literally have no idea. And to suggest that anything that is happening on a day-to-day basis, I wouldn't be able to say that was one way or the other at all. It's just there's too many macro effects on it right now for one thing to try and do any of it. It's possible, but it's way above my pay grade to decide whether or not that's possible.
I guess the highly technical investment advisor term for the market right now is batshit crazy. Would that
Get
be
the fuck out. That's where I'm at. And like the two, Warren is doing the same thing, and Ray Dalio, who runs, I don't know, the largest hedge fund on the face of the earth, is moving absolutely everything that he can reasonably out of that market. So that's what I've done. So
I'm going to drop a link in the comments. I know we're jumping around a bit because lots of comments, and we're intensely interested in what you guys are all saying. But this is a COVID contact tracing page for the White House, the Rose Garden massacre, as we're calling it. It's an interesting page. 270 people had contact with people who were positive at the event. There's lots of charts and graphs and several tabs. And it really does look like that White House, the Rose Garden massacre was the central vector for all of this mayhem that we're going to see. I thought I'd just throw that link in there. It's a fascinating little website. So contract tracking home, White House contract tracking. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Sue, this has been bugging me all week. Well, we aren't talking about his taxes. And you know, all of that,
or his failure to disavow white supremacy.
Right. I'm definitely at the point where there's too many contact points to suggest this was a stunt, but they're also never going to let a piece of bad luck go to waste. You know, like they'll spin this. I mean, it's already spun. You know, at the very least, it's a piece of luck, believe it or not, that he got COVID. And I mean, like, to get the rest of the news off that, but I mean, the thing on the minds of the most voters is COVID right now. I mean, that's just a real thing, right? So Jamie Harrison, you know, in his debate with South Carolina, was blasting on the ridiculous response to COVID. And I mean, honestly, it's why, you know, Biden is winning old people in Florida. Let me repeat that. Biden is winning old people in Florida. That means there's a really good chance we win Florida. Right? Like it, you know, and it all stems from the absolutely unbelievably feckless response to, you know, a really, really deadly disease.
Okay, but I also don't want to undervalue the effort of hundreds, maybe thousands of organizers I know who are out there making sure everybody knows what's actually happening, not just what Trump is saying is happening in the world.
Preach.
You know, This is why we've been doing what we've been doing for 4 years.
I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Texas is in play.
Yeah.
Georgia, South Carolina, southern states are in play that are never in play. We might end up with an African American senator from Mississippi for the first time in 130
that race.
30 years.
Seriously, let's check in on that race because
it's Mike Espy. Yep. Now, there's no way we win Mississippi in the presidential. That's extraordinarily unlikely.
No, but like,
if that happens, it would be among the worst presidential drubbings of all time.
Yeah,
like it would be. Yeah.
And this is such a
day is the last day to register to vote in Florida.
I mean,
if you're watching this show and you're not registered to vote, I'm going to drive to wherever you are and punch you in the face.
Fired. I would be shocked.
And I don't punch anybody ever, so I shall be very cross with you. Ay. What are you doing over there? What's
I'm checking polls.
Yep, Heather St. Amand Klein, organizer, Southern Organizing. Thank you, Heather, for all you do. You're a much stronger person than I am. I'm grateful to all you guys that are doing that. Excellent. Virginia's hubby received his first ballot ever. He's been a non-voter up till this year.
Cool.
I can't say I'm happy about his past choices, but I'm happy about his current ones.
Yeah, we'll start. Thank you for waking up now when we very much need everyone on deck.
Yeah. What else is going on? What are you doing?
I'm just checking out the Mississippi polls, and Yahoo keeps taking over my search bar on Chrome, which is really fucking annoying.
It's all the porn you watch. You did installed some spyware thing.
Yeah, it must be.
Oh, you're using Chrome? I had that. Yeah. That's one of the problems I had with Chrome when I was using it.
Really? Yeah, like Chrome is literally a Google property. Like, how are they letting that happen? So dumb. I can't even like it. And Yahoo sucked nard. Anyway, whatever. I'll do that later.
Oh, you're welcome, Corey. I give Corey a little bit of help with the ultra critical mosquito control board seats in Pasco County on his ballot. So you're welcome, Corey. No worries there.
I'm just gonna read out this error of Ginny's because it's funny. Took 20 years of marriage to convenience him. I like it. Hey, Greg, can you vamp for a couple minutes?
Yeah, I can probably do that.
Right.
Jareen is telling a horrifying story about her work environment and why UBI is critical.
Oh, geez. Yes, UBI, please.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, I didn't want to cover any new stuff till Corey gets back because I had a really cool science story. Is it? I was just going to go to some comments here. Is it a mistake on Biden's part to pull several of his campaign ads right now? You know, I have mixed feelings about that. I really don't. I when there's a crisis like this, you can really look like an asshole if you keep running negative ads about the other person. But after the joyride yesterday, even George Takei is angry about that. Start running the negative ads again. George Takei, who has been kind and considerate and helpful to everyone as long as I've known about him, is mad enough that he wants the negative ads to restart. So I kind of go with Uncle George on these things. If Uncle George is that angry and I don't want to say mean but harsh, then I probably have to readjust my view of that. I don't see why we would stop the negative ads if the president is well enough to get in a vehicle and drive around and wave at his fan base. Clearly he's not hurting that bad, right? So that would make that would make sense to me. Jeez. What do you guys think? I think he's sicker than they're letting on. I think the medical treatment indices are not good. Yeah, David James, I casted my early in-person ballot in Minnesota last week. It was fast and easy. Unfortunately, Minnesota is a toss-up state right now. Yeah, we're going to win Minnesota. I think we're going to win Minnesota. I think people were deeply energized. So I think the George Floyd thing got a lot of people out the door to vote that maybe wouldn't have in prior times. Yeah, there is a story out this morning, some information out this morning about the particular steroids that he's taking cause mental acuity problems, delusion problems. Psychiatric professionals are deeply concerned about his well-being, taking that drug and being in charge of, the nuclear football. Yep. Yeah, Corey, I read a post about folks making us feel bad because we don't have sympathy for our abuser. That's gaslighting. That's the classical definition of gaslighting. Telling people not to be angry or reactionary to their abusers is gaslighting. Would I like to see a sense of decorum in our politics? Yes, I would. But these are people who literally tried to convince us that Hillary Clinton had multiple sclerosis and was dying of pneumonia and was weak as a candidate because she fainted at a rally. This president actually mocked her on stage about being sick. So I guess that ship sailed, right? This is why we're so angry when those norms are broken, because we know that they're broken forever. We know that once that lid is lifted, all that shit flies out, much like Jareen's job. So she had to clean up a horrifying mess in her job and wants UBI so she doesn't ever have to do that again. Corey's back.
Hello. Yeah, I don't know if you read this one. The over orange 10 definitely helps hide, and camera angles can definitely keep us grim on how bad he is. But even the open color, the strange office photos. Yeah, so the office photos thing, like I was remiss to talk about those, but it's gone mainstream. Like this is literally a thing that happened. They took two different photos to try and make it look like he was in different offices doing a bunch of work, signing a blank piece of paper, and they were photoshopped and they were created 10 minutes apart. Right. So like it's how do we create the appearance of effort? Which again, like none of us are shocked by that. Of course he's going to do that. But it's just kind of one more thing that we can't trust anything. That's like when it was a single, point when it was only the doctor that we could be sure of who was saying that he had COVID. I just flat out fucking didn't believe it. And nobody should have, because it was bullshit. Right. But, we have to wait for corroborating evidence for everything. And since then, that same doctor has said, oh, we don't want to talk about O2. We don't want to do this. Then it comes out that his O2 was actually really fucking low a couple times. And they have him on some experimental stuff, but he's going to be better tomorrow. He's going to get out tomorrow. That doesn't fucking make any sense. And apparently, Mark Meadows was saying that it was actually a little bit more severe, and then Trump gets mad at him for saying that it's severe. Like, it's a fucking shit show. It's a complete fucking shit show.
If he fires Mark Meadows, that would be the most Schadenfreude that ever Schadenfreude down Schadenfreude Street.
I think we have to end the show right there. Yeah, that was a lot. If you
fire the most sycophantic human being to exist in the presidential circle for not being enough of a sycophant, holy shit, are you lost?
Yeah,
Mike Silvestri, please don't ever ask that question in this year. Christ, can it get any worse? Yeah. Have you looked at the tropics today? We now have a tropical storm Delta and a tropical storm Gamma in the Gulf of Mexico right now. So we've run out of names.
Wait, David, could you? Where did you see that? Meadows is positive.
What?
I haven't seen that, but I'll search that in a second. But David Stokes just said Meadows has COVID. Dave Myers said Mango Mussolini himself posted a video more than once with the quote, "The only good Democrat is a dead Democrat. Fuck your gaslighting. I don't hope he dies, but if he dies, party at my house. I have a fucking sweet girl." I mean, yeah. Nice. Like, I'm not like in any way, shape, or form like that meme with the whole, hey, it's cool if we run over protesters, and then the second that the guy responsible for the death of 150,000 Americans gets sick, and we're all like, yeah, we don't really care if he dies. Some people are more open about it than that.
Yeah.
Especially like if somebody, this is really what gets me from like a moral and ethical calculation standpoint. He was lying about a deadly disease, obviously like terrible leadership or whatever, but like straight up fucking lying about it while putting other people in danger in person, knowingly, while he was infected. Like he is the zombie guy who's bit and tries to hide it or whatever, right? When that guy dies, is anyone like, no? They're all like, well, shit heel's gonna get what they're gonna get. That's I don't know. That's my
Corey,
calculus.
The Democrats infected him on purpose.
Fuck.
That's where they're going to. No, that's what they're going to say. They're already saying it.
Cool. Like that. Those people are cut the fuck out of my life forever. I mean, if you're that stupid,
right? But they still vote. They still vote. They still run Klan rallies.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They still take guns to Black Lives Matter rallies and threaten people.
Yeah, but I don't have to give a fuck what they say.
Yeah.
What they say doesn't matter. Like, it's like if the second you're wearing a big fucking belt buckle with a Confederate flag on it, your opinion no longer matters to me. Like, at all. It just doesn't matter.
I'm with Sue. I don't want him to die. I want him to be wide awake and conscious for his destruction and undoing.
And jail time.
And humiliation. I want him to be fully aware.
Yep. I would prefer
that the clock has run out on his bullshit. His lifetime of heinous bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, Kushner effectively admitting they were letting the virus go crazy in democratically controlled cities and states that they can blame it on leadership. I mean, that's if you really, really look at that and unpack it, that's why God invented firing squads.
Yeah, that's Stephen Miller's hand right there. That's the hand of the actual Nazi in the fucking White House. Helping make those decisions. Everything for political expediency, including killing people.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How about a class action lawsuit for people that are endangered by his little joyride? And
I think that's a necessity. Not even the joyride, for literally everyone who has any medical expense at all related to COVID should sue Donald Trump personally.
Yeah. There's wanton disregard all over the place in this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, they might not win, but it's worth it. So lawyers out there, get after it. Yeah, could be the largest class action suit in the history of the United States.
There was a moment in the early 90s when there were more people in law school than there were lawyers on the entire planet, and I think the reason for that is now becoming clear because we're going to need all those lawyers to file a whole shit ton of lawsuits.
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess. Democrats have weaponized their masks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I do have one thing to say.
Who do you think's trying to make you wear a mask? Big Etsy?
That's good.
Jesus
I like
Christ.
that.
I stole it. That's a stolen tweet.
Yeah,
but
no, I knew it was stolen. It was. I mean, not that you couldn't have come up with it on him, but that came up really fast. Anyway, that's fantastic. And I forget what I was going to say now because Big Etsy is just.
Well, in that line of thinking that there's a Trump tweet for everything, I posted this one on the So Local page this morning. The Ebola doctor from West Africa went bowling it out in public, irresponsible, and he should have known. Donald J. Trump, the guy that came to New York from Africa during the Ebola crisis and that made 3 people sick. There's a Trump tweet about that.
Oh, this is the other one I wanted to share with you guys. I kind of mentioned it, but I think it sort of bears keeping heads on swivels for this one. If Donald Trump were my patient in unstable condition and contagious illness, and he suddenly left the hospital to go for a car ride that endangers himself and others, I'd call security to restrain him, then perform a psychiatric evaluation to examine his decision-making capacity. Yeah, Amy, of course, shows up comforting given he has our nuclear codes. Hasn't that always been the case?
If you were a patient in a hospital and you left against medical advice, your insurance would not pay for any treatment you received. Even if you left for an hour or two and they had told you not to, that you were highly contagious, you did that, they would discharge you. They might even try and detain you and call the law.
Oh, Jesus.
But okay. I guess all those other people at Walter Reed, they're unimportant.
I stopped following Trump a while ago just for my own health.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
What?
That could very easily be Dan Scavino.
Check this out. I mean, we know they're trying to kill pre-existing conditions. Better, cheaper healthcare. We know that's a lie that's coming out in 2 weeks, like 50 times. Peace through strength, bring our soldiers home. What the fuck does that even mean? Save our Second Amendment. That might be the only coherent thing that is out there, because I really would fucking steal all your guns. You don't deserve them, Americans. You suck at them. Fight the corrupt fake news media. I'm a Nazi. And then there's more. This is like 1 a minute. Like, look at this fucking timestamps on this shit.
Yep.
This is him. He's fucking crazy. Wow. All right. Well, it goes on.
Religious liberty, vote, what? But only if you're Christian, though.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. He makes horrifying comments about Ilhan Omar 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And now he's talking about religious liberty. That's awesome.
That's fucking crazy pants.
Yes, it is. It is illegal to have unprotected sex as an HIV plus person without disclosing to your partner. So you would think that exposing people to your contagious deadly disease would,
where there's 100 people that have paid $250,000 each to be there.
200.
Oh fuck!
And they had a buffet.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And they sang COVID. They sang COVID. They sang karaoke,
which is the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that. Rob says his wife is an ICU nurse. She says while dexamethasone isn't as bad as some are saying on its own, he's taking it along with other experimental drugs, and who knows what the side effects could be. That's exactly right. I've had that from several medical professionals, including a geriatric nursing specialist who says that's not something you give people who are not in serious trouble because of the risks for other complications with other medications. So I'm telling you, I know you guys think this is Trump. These are Dan Scavino tweets. Read the backstory. This is the guy he handpicked to tweet on his behalf when he's busy doing other fascist things. Yeah.
So maybe it's like we need to put out 18 million tweets because he's about to go on the ventilator.
Yeah. Elizabeth Wood, I share your feelings about that. I hope they all stuck their dicks in the chocolate fountain too at the buffet.
Jesus. Why?
Yeah. I mean, well, the imagery alone is compelling.
It's compelling. How? Come on.
Well,
now that's in my brain. And I don't want that in my brain.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Hairdo master. You're welcome. Jesus, all my super Christian fans losing their minds, posting hell of Trump anti-Biden propaganda. They feel that the end is loose. I think that's the end is near. Yeah. Oh boy.
This is not a good time. Remember when Obama was president? We were like, hey, quit bombing hospitals. And they did quit. That was it, really.
Remember when we all drove up and down the highway with too many Trump flags for stability hanging off of our trucks? We all had Obama flags. Remember that when we all had that?
Yeah.
You know why we didn't do that? We're not in a fucking cult. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh.
All Regal cinemas are shutting down for good.
Yes, for good.
So that's a thing.
I think that's all of our local theaters.
It is.
I think they're all Regal here.
It is.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I'm kind of getting to the point where, like, to Ash's point, are all evangelicals going to get raptured soon? Like, good, maybe?
I mean, can I have their stuff? There's going to be lots of fishing boats and kayaks laying around.
Right? I mean, like, there'll be auctions, I guess, stuff for cheap, and, like, the percentage of people that actually understand, not believe, because you don't need to, that understand science, the percentage will go up. That's good. I like it. Anyway,
that is an interesting idea. That somebody made a comment about him popping Adderall while he was on his joyride, and Sue says that could be the reason for the ride. Maybe he couldn't get any Adderall in the hospital while being supervised by medical personnel. That's interesting.
Yeah. I saw we were flipping through Netflix, and there's a documentary on Adderall on there, and like they had like some warnings, like, hey, like, this is like kind of not good for you or whatever. But the rest of like the 2.5 minute trailer was all just like, you need to be on this drug. It makes you good at everything. Like, is this supposed to be a commercial?
Tim Myers, that'd be dope. Hopefully the rapture happens before this weekend. I need a toaster oven.
Yeah.
This is why we love him. Oh, Dave Myers, I hope you'll throw a link to your TeePublic page into the comments so everyone can order their Soup for My Family hand grenade shirt. Ours are on the way. We ordered 2 the morning they went up. We could not wait. Those are awesome, and I can't wait.
I finally got a mask I was looking at before too. One of the ones with the unicorns.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say that. Thousands came out in Laredo, Texas for riding for Biden. I get that. It's a reactionary thing, Yeah, I get that. Yeah, there are double-edged swords in the meme world about such things as Trump getting sick because he's weak and stupid. Well, if Biden gets sick, what then? Right? So let's be mindful of what we're bringing into the world there. Ash says, David Stokes, if they can get the evangelical judges, maybe they'll go to heaven, get to heaven. It's all about bringing on the second coming. That's true.
The potential next president of South Korea grew up in poverty and firmly believes in rising income inequality will make markets unsustainable, and UBI will fix and further develop capitalism. This is from Scott. Yeah. Man, yeah, if we could just go back to talking about fucking UBI, that'd be great.
We were the old days when we used to be able to sit and read books at night instead of just doom scrolling through Facebook and Twitter, wondering what was coming next. Those were good times. Mm-hmm. I like this. I saw something expressed a couple of weeks ago that I really like, and I want to bring it back to the front again in our consciousness. Is we keep thinking this is like only because of Trump or only because this is climate change. All this craziness we're seeing with the fires and the hurricanes and COVID and our response to COVID. This is all a sign of the strain that global climate change is putting on our ability to govern and be governed, right? All of those things are going to be affected. It's not just the weather that's going to change. It's our entire economic and political reality is going to change because of global climate change. And I think that this is like the first stroke of that pen that's going to write our future. All things are going to become less stable, not just weather things. And I think that's an important thing to remember about this year. This is the first year that we're really seeing visible effects, publicly visible effects of global climate change. It's the first year, and this is going to go on and on and on until we do the things that are necessary to curb it. So I want us to keep that in our minds. Yeah, Lori, there was a thing about a minimum wage in Florida on my ballot. That's correct. It's the fight for $15 an hour minimum wage by 2025, by which time we'll need a $20 an hour minimum wage. It gives them like 4 years to roll out that minimum wage hike, and that is a constitutional amendment on all Floridians' ballots this year. So that's cool, I guess. But UBI would be better. So, yeah.
No, I do not know who Dana Cottrell is. I hope that they are cool.
Yeah, could be. Oh boy. Well, everyone knows that the deep state reptilian Democrats are abducting children to eat their adrenochrome, and that the excess of adrenochrome in the atmosphere is leading to climate change. If the Earth was round, it could handle the stresses better. That checks out. That all checks out. Yeah. Yep, you're correct on it. If minimum wage had stayed in line with cost of living, it would be $22 an hour now. And I will never stop reminding those assholes that minimum wage was designed to be a wage on which you could sustain a family of 4. It was not designed to be a high school kids living in at mom's house wage. It was designed so that a working human being could support their family on it. That's what minimum wage was for. And we have not kept that promise. Yeah. There you go. Virginia Ruppert. This is a quote. Michael Shearer of the New York Times, one of the White House reporters who's tested positive, said he has received zero outreach and no contact tracing at all.
Fucking hell.
This is the nightmare scenario that I predicted, that there would become a point in the White House where Trump would turn around to want to fax something, and there would be nobody left in the White House that was competent enough to do that.
Yep. So that's fun.
I have a science story, and it's like one of the coolest science stories I have ever seen. I like when the paradigm for what we think we know about the world and things in it changes. There is a new paper that hit the Nature journal yesterday.
Yes.
In San Diego, like I guess 6 or 7 years ago, people building a road found a pile of bones, mastodons, giant sloths, like dire wolves. They found a whole bunch of bones. They weren't sure how old they are. You can't do radiocarbon dating apparently on bones. It's very inaccurate, and they wanted it really narrow, so they used a whole bunch of highly technical means to date this bone cache at 130,000 years old. 130,000. So the current thinking in the world of paleontology and anthropology is that humans have been in the North American continent for about 12 to 15,000 years. There's been a few things recently indicate maybe as far back as 25,000 years. On the bones of the mastodon, they found spots where the bones had been smashed with rocks, and they found the rocks there as well. And some of the rocks had bone fragments in them, and some of the bones had rock fragments in them, which indicates that it wasn't that these rocks like just kind of like crushed the bones over time, that somebody was smashing these bones, these mastodon bones, to get the marrow out, which is something that we know early humans did. So it's looking now like there's evidence that humans were on the North American continent 130,000 years ago, 10 times as long as we've verified so far. It brings the whole Bering Land Bridge thing back into play, because that was a period of time when that land bridge existed. There have been times when it didn't. When the water levels rise, it becomes a series of islands like it is now, that we call the Aleutian Islands. But this is pretty amazing stuff, and it's in a peer-reviewed journal this week. And they're going to start looking at other bone caches from that era to see if they find evidence of tool use, which would indicate that humans were using rocks to smash bones to get the marrow out. 130,000 years. Could have been Neanderthals, could have been Denisovans, could have been Homo sapiens, could have been any of the several human family members that were existent at that time before we killed and ate them all. or bred into them till they were human. So, yeah, Sasquatch is real. Oh, I went early on that, didn't I?
Yeah, because I have a science story now. Damn it.
Okay.
Although I get we're dragged to a close. So, I've been checking all weekend to see if this was real, and it looks like it is. There's one good thing that I'm aware of that came out of Arkansas. And I know the Clintons did, but whatever. An energy harvesting circuit based on graphene could be incorporated into a chip to provide clean, limitless, low voltage power for small devices and sensors. They have created a chip out of graphene that uses the Brownian motion, which is just the vibrating motion of all atoms or molecules, right? That uses the Brownian motion in graphene to produce electricity. And that never goes away.
So perpetual motion?
Yes. It's literally a low voltage drip forever. Or, until the universe dies in heat death or whatever, right? But
right.
A very, 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 very long time. Now, the voltage is extremely low, but you could, incorporate it into tiny devices or sensors, and they could basically just exist ad nauseum forever. So that's fun.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Corey, I got that link about the graphene processor power thing, and I hadn't read it yet. But no, this other story about humanity maybe existing in America for 10 times longer than we first thought.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of evidence for that now.
Pretty amazing.
Been drumming up, which I think is cool.
Yep. All right, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna sit on the couch and see about getting Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do with my day.
That would be fun. I even got a headset for my Xbox for the first time in 4 years because I think like Kirby got it. So I think we were talking about doing like a bro party night. And
yeah,
if there are any ladies that want to play Rogue Squadron, we will Squadron. We will totally
headset that Corey got me a while back, so I'm all set for that.
There you go. Party time, Wayne. Party time. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Wednesday morning. You guys know the drill. That's not your first day.
Yeah. I want to thank Mary Ellen Patrick Gallagher for donating to us yesterday to keep the Church of Reason server up and running on Minecraft. We appreciate that. That was very helpful. We do have expenses to keep this crazy gaslight shelter going. So if you'd like to donate, you can certainly do so. We would be very appreciative, and we will not spend any of it on hookers and blow, Corey, this time. Again.
Maybe.
Ever again.
Next time.
Oh, cool. Heather says after the election, she's down for some Rogue Squadron. She is a hella gamer, Heather. She plays Destiny quite a bit. I know that I got Destiny 2 just based on her recommendation.
Awesome.
So, yeah, cool stuff.
Cool.
And
all right.
I also know she's an absolute Star Wars freak. She had a Star Wars themed wedding, Corey.
Wow.
I was not there that day, but yeah, they had a Star Wars themed wedding.
That's brilliant. All right. Yeah. Well, fancy. Cool. Yeah. All right, guys. Say the thing.
As just posited by scientists, Sasquatch